Alrighty. Today we are going to look at volume of cones. This is about the fourth time I've tried to make this video. So first there was a tornado drill, then another teacher stopped by. So hopefully I can make it through the whole thing today. Hopefully you got to preview that video where they were pouring the popcorn kernels from a cylinder into a cone. And if you saw that, they were able to fill the cone 3 times with a cylinder. So there's a relationship between a cone and a cylinder. That being the cylinder is 3 times as big as the cone. The formulas are very similar. They both have a circular base, so pi r squared still applies, times the height. However, since a cone is kind of pointy, it's not taking up as much space as the cylinder. And since we were able to fill 3 containers of the cone with 1 cylinder, that means the cone is 1/3 the size of that cylinder. So the pointy part makes it narrower, so it's only 1/3 the size instead of a full size. Just a few pointers as we go today. If you are looking at the height of the cone, make sure you look from the point of the cone all the way down to the center of the circle. That'll be your height, even if the cone is lying on its side or upside down or something like that. And we do need radius, so if you're given diameter, be sure to cut it in half. Otherwise, the formula is almost the same as the cylinder. We just have a 1/3 out front. So this capital B just stands for base area. You really don't have to write that. We're replacing the base area with pi r squared. You can handle the 1/3 one of 2 ways. At the very beginning of the problem, you could type 1 divided by 3 into your calculator and then pi r squared h, or you could divide by 3 at the very end. So type it in just like we did the cylinder and then divide by 3 because it's a pointy object at the end. My personal preference is to type in the 1/3 first so I don't forget about it at the end of the problem, but it is your call. So here we go. I'm going to start with my formula, 1/3 pi r squared h, but I'm going to type in 1 divided by 3 for my fraction out front. Pi I'm going to replace with 3.14. Radius times radius, 2 times 2. And the height of that one is 7, so times 7. You do not have to use those parentheses. It's just separating the area of the circle times the height. So don't feel like you have to have those parentheses. So 1 divided by 3 times 3.14 times 2 times 2 times 7. That gave me about 29.3. And I believe you'll get the same thing even if you do the divided by 3 at the end. It's just a different way of writing it. And we still did feet times feet times feet. So it is feet to the 3rd power or feet cubed, cubic feet. That word cubic is another one. If you see it in the word problem, that kind of tells you they're talking about volume. Alrighty. Sorry, I went past that last example pretty quick. If you need to rewind and pause, you can. So here we've got a cone lying on its side. So be very careful here. The switch to a brighter color. The height is given from point to the base circle. So the height in this case is the 26, and 24 goes all the way across. So that's my diameter. If 24 is my diameter, the radius would be 12 if we divide that by 2. Now I'm ready to substitute. 1 divided by 3. Pi, radius squared is radius times radius, and times the height of this cone is 26. So again, just make sure you're very careful. Please write it down. Even though some of you are like, I'm using a calculator, write it down so that if you happen to plug something in the wrong place or make a mistake, I can help you fix it or give you partial credit on your quiz Friday. And I got a pretty large number there, 3,918 and 7/10. And this would be millimeters cubed. All right, double check my calculations. And when you're ready to move on, let's roll. Not sure if I talked about drawing cones in this video. I've filmed it so many times I forgot. You just draw a circle at the bottom and a point above it and connect them. Or if it's sideways, you can draw your circle and a point And having the diagram really makes it easier when you're solving volume problems. So if you can draw it, you should. All right, April is making a TP that looks like a cone shape to me. And we want to find its volume. So that's 1/3 pi r squared h. Pretty authentic TP April has for her. I guess this is maybe a party or a camp out. So 1 divided by 3, and pi will be 3.14. Diameter of 10, so the radius is, you guessed it, 5, and a height of 7.5. If this is a lot for some of you to type into a calculator, you can also feel free to do the radius squared part in your head and just change that to 25 prior to typing it in. Or I just recommend type it in twice, clear your calculator and type it in again to make sure you got it exactly right. Because it is a lot of punching numbers and clicking buttons and it's easy to make a mistake. I got 196, and I'm going to verify that by typing it in one more time. And I did get the same answer. So hopefully it's correct and I didn't make any mistakes. Good luck with volume. Have a great day.